Good morning. I am reading from the book The Badge and the Burden Honoring America's Law Enforcement Heroes by Bennett Springwell. We are on Chapter 12 Guardians of a Divided Nation. America is divided. Lines have been drawn, not just on maps, but in hearts and minds. Across politics, race, class, ideology, and media. We argue louder, we listen less, we judge faster. And in the midst of the storm stand the men and women tasked with holding the line. Law enforcement officers don't get to pick sides. They aren't sent to protect only the people who agree with them. They are called to protect all people, even those who protest their very existence. That is one of the noblest yet most difficult parts of wearing the badge. In a world where trust is fractured and everyone is watching for the next scandal, mistake, or misstep, today's officers must navigate a minefield of public perception. They walk into communities skeptical of their presence. They respond to calls unsure if a camera is waiting to catch one wrong word. They are told they're either heroes or villains with little room for humanity in between. Yet they continue to serve, not because it's easy, but because they believe their presence still matters. Because behind every angry crowd is someone who still needs help. Behind every accusation is a child who still deserves safety. And behind every moment of conflict is a chance, even if small, to make peace. Sergeant Lila Harris once told her department, "We don't get to give up on the people who've given up on us. We show up anyway because we're not here to be liked. We're here to be faithful." This is the burden of guardianship. True guardians don't just defend what is popular, they defend what is right. Even when it's thankless, even when it's dangerous, when it means standing alone in the middle of a fractured society and still doing the job with integrity. Officers are not perfect, and they should be held accountable when they fail the trust of the badge. But we must also recognize that most officers serve with honor in a profession that grows harder by the day. It is easy to shout. It is harder to serve. It is easy to divide. It takes courage to stand between. Law enforcement officers are not the cause of division. They are often its first casualty. Yet they return shift after shift, refusing to let division define their mission. Because peace has to start somewhere, and they are still willing to be the ones who bring it. To the guardians who continue to protect a nation that struggles to protect itself, to those who walk between protest signs and prayer vigils, riots and rescue calls, to those who see beyond the rhetoric and reach for what still unites us. You are not just defenders of law, you are defenders of hope. The kind of hope that says we can still do better. The next video will be Chapter 13, Split-Second Decisions. And again, I am reading from the book, The Badge and the Burden, Honoring America's Law Enforcement Heroes by Bennett Springwell. Thank you. I love you all. Bye.